Hey there. Welcome to CyberPulse by Quantum Shield, the podcast where we make cybersecurity less intimidating and a lot more exciting. Every episode, we're diving into the latest digital drama, from sneaky hackers to the coolest defense strategies, all while sharing tips you can actually use. So grab a coffee, get comfy, and let's navigate this crazy digital world together.
All right, picture this. You're about to absolutely nail this big presentation. Slides are killer, you're dressed to impress, then boom, ransomware. Your computer's toast. Talk about a stressful situation, right? And that's why we're here today, to do a deep dive into the world of cyber threats. So we can learn how to outsmart those bad actors. We're going to break down who these attackers are, unpack their tactics, and figure out how to assess risk like a pro. So let's get right into this whole threat landscape thing.
Yeah, and what's really interesting is how much it's changed, It's not just about, tech skills anymore. It's about really getting inside the minds of these attackers, their motives, their psychology, what makes them tick.
That's fascinating. And our sources for this deep dive really paint this fascinating picture of this rogues gallery. So first up, we've got organized crime. Basically, think digital mob bosses.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Laser focused on one thing and one thing only, cash.
Exactly. Money is their prime motivator, which means they're going after the big fish, Financial institutions, major companies, anyone they can hit for a big payout. Remember that ransomware attack on Colonial Pipeline last year?
Oh yeah, that was huge.
Crippled a major fuel pipeline, caused panic, shortages, the whole 9 yards. That's the level of chaos they can create.
It's scary how much damage they can do. And then you've got nation states. They're playing a whole different ballgame. Cyber espionage, information warfare. This is where things get really serious.
Absolutely. The stakes are incredibly high. Think back to the Sony Pictures hack a few years ago. That was attributed to North Korea, supposedly in retaliation for a satirical movie.
It's crazy how far they'll go.
Right. But it wasn't just about Hollywood drama. It went way beyond that. They exposed sensitive data, disrupted operations for weeks. That's the kind of power they have at their fingertips.
And then there's the threat that might be closer to home than we think. The insider threat. The disgruntled employee who goes rogue, or even just like a careless coworker who accidentally leaves a password out.
Oh, absolutely. And those can be some of the most devastating attacks because they already have access. Think about the Edward Snowden case, for example.
Or he walked out with all that classified information.
Exactly. A former NSA contractor who walked out with a trove of classified information. These situations are a stark reminder that threats can come from within an organization, not just outside.
It's a good reminder to be careful who you trust, that's for sure. Okay, so we've met the villains in our story. But what weapons are they using? What's in their arsenal?
Well, let's start with a classic. Malware.
Ah, yes. Good old-fashioned malware.
Right. Think of it like a digital virus. Sneaking onto your computer, maybe through a shady email attachment or an infected website.
I've definitely clicked on a few of those in my day.
We've all been there. But once that malware is in, it can steal your data, spy on you, even lock you out of your own system.
Talk about a nightmare. And then there's social engineering, where they're not attacking your technology, they're attacking you.
Oh, absolutely. They're playing the long game.
It's all about deception, preying on human error, like tricking you into giving up your passwords or clicking on bad links.
Right, like those phishing emails we've all seen. The ones that look like they're from your bank or a trusted friend. They can be very convincing. But one wrong click, and boom, they can snag your login credentials or install malware.
It's scary how easy it is to fall for that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know the bad guys are out there. Their tactics are getting sneakier by the day. But we don't want to leave everyone feeling doom and gloom. So let's talk about how we can fight back.
And I think the most important thing to remember is that knowledge is power. The more you understand about the threats out there, the better equipped you are to defend against them. And that's where risk assessment comes in.
So it's more than just having the latest antivirus software.
Exactly. It's about being proactive, thinking strategically about your security. First and foremost, you need to identify your crown jewels, so to speak.
So like my secret stash of cookies.
Exactly. What data, systems, information is absolutely critical for you to protect.
Makes sense.
Once you know what you need to protect, it's time to think like a burglar casing a joint. You need to find the weak spots, the vulnerabilities in your defenses that attackers could exploit.
Like that one window I always forget to lock.
Exactly. Outdated software, weak passwords, unsecured networks. These are all open invitations for attackers.
So once you found those vulnerabilities, then you have to figure out, like, how bad the damage would be if someone actually got through, right?
Exactly. What's the potential impact? Financial losses, legal trouble, reputational damage. Assessing the potential fallout helps you prioritize your defenses.
So it's kind of like a cost-benefit analysis for your cybersecurity.
Exactly. Our sources mention a bunch of different methodologies you can use for risk assessment.
Is there one that's like the gold standard?
There's no one-size-fits-all answer. The most important thing is to choose an approach that works for you and your organization, and then actually stick with it. Don't get overwhelmed by all the options out there.
That's good advice for pretty much everything in life, I think. So to wrap things up, it seems like understanding this whole threat landscape, it's absolutely crucial for staying safe online, knowing who's out there, what they want, and how they operate. But here's a thought, and this is for everyone listening.
I like where this is going.
Based on what we've talked about today, what's one thing you can do right now to improve your own cybersecurity? Change that weak password, update your software, think about it. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and remember, the internet's a wild place, so be prepared. And we'll see you in the next deep dive.
Thanks for hanging out with us on CyberPulse. Remember, cybersecurity doesn't have to be scary. It's all about staying sharp and a little bit savvy. Keep learning, stay curious, and don't let those cyber gremlins get you down. Catch you next time, and until then, stay safe, stay smart, and keep crushing it online.